Doesn't matter how you did business online last year.
Blog.
Interruption marketing is dead.
Interactive.
The blog has become my fastest way to test.
Last year's history.
Blog Interactive 360, presented by RPM Success Group.
Interruption marketing, if any method is interruption based, then it's not going to be welcome in the new media marketplace.
Let me add to that, because if you think about how do you want to be marketed to, and if you wouldn't like the channel, then chances are your market, especially if your market is a more sophisticated group. And what we've seen through time and advertising is that 30 years ago, what could have worked brilliantly for any business owner, whether it was interruption or not, it didn't matter because they didn't have as many ad messages. And it wasn't the same old, same old. We get conditioned, like the infomercials, right? We get conditioned to how they're delivered to the point where now they're so standardized that if we don't get, but wait, there's more, we're disappointed, right? We're like, where's the extra? Where's the other product? So you want to think about the fact that our marketing and advertising has changed dramatically because the people have grown up. They now know what's going on. They understand the boardwalk pitch in the infomercial product, so they know what's happening. But if they really like the product, well, they might buy it. So, but there are psychological triggers that now are being used in infomercials where cheesy infomercials from the past no longer will work. It has to be psychological principles that work, and that's why the infomercial business will never go away and will only increase because it's based on, and the good ones, like Guthrie Ranker is one of the people that is a good system to model. If you want to think about your sales letter or your website, follow an infomercial by Guthrie Ranker, and follow one that's been on again and again, like the one that you've seen over and over, because that's the one that's successful. They're only going to keep airing the ones that are making money because they're following psychological triggers that human nature cannot resist. So you want to think about where it's a much more sophisticated market that we're talking to, and if you don't want it being done to you, then don't employ it.
Well, I know when I see a video testimonial, I'm much more likely to believe it than, you know, some words on a page and Frank R. from California.
Yeah.
So maybe you could just briefly talk about some of the modes of the new media on Web 2.0,
Sure.
And just how that would work and what that brings to the party.
Okay. So I'll go over briefly what they are, and then you can elaborate on some of them. So there's blogs, podcasts, and vlogging. And vlogging is really what you're doing right now, is video blogging. But it's still blogging. And then you've got podcasts, which is either audio or video. So you want to talk about that? And then RSS, you can kind of talk about how that all works.
Yeah, RSS is the underlying power of the new media marketplace. So with what Deb was saying with blogs, which basically, if you're not familiar with blogs are just a instant publishing tool that allows you to manage all your content very simply and very easily, but also allows your audience to participate with you. Now, the underlying power of RSS, which you don't need to know how it works or why it works or anything. All you need to know is that it is like when you push the button on your blog, your publish button on a well-optimized blog that's put together the right way, what happens is RSS, which stands for Real Simple Syndication, it goes out and it sends out, if you want to think of thousands or tens of thousands of tiny little salespeople that go out and knock on doors of search engines, of blog-specific directories, of podcast directories, of your subscribers, of journalists, of all these different places, and it's knock, knock, knock. Howard's got some new information on his blog, and that's if you want to just think of it simply in that analogy, that's what RSS does for you. So it's like employing a sales force of thousands of tiny little door knockers.
And they're knocking on doors, and this is what's significant, is they're knocking on doors of people that have said, please come back again and again every week. Imagine a salesperson, they want to see you every week because they want your content, because it's so valuable that they want it before their competitor gets it. And that's the key too, because you don't want to just come up with a blog or podcast and just talk about anything. You want to know, is it valuable to your marketplace? Do they want it? And will they A, be addicted to it, where they keep coming back, it's a habit, and are you giving them something so valuable that if they don't get it first or from you, then their competitor will, and that will put them in a bad position. So there's also tagging and wikis. So tagging, when we talk about tagging, is it like you're it, and then I run behind the tree?
Tagging is just,
on the internet.
again, just as a summary point, tagging is simply bookmarks on steroids, if you want to think of it that way. It's taking bookmarks, making them public and searchable, which then, when the right strategies are employed, you can do a lot of search engine optimization through tagging. So
now,
it's a strategic approach.
When you say bookmark, is it like the bookmark in a book?
Not like bookmarking, like when you're in a browser and you want to save to your favorites on your browser. That's a bookmark. It's
So
just
that's
this is a
what
little
people
bit
were
different
used to
type of
doing.
bookmarking.
Right.
But it's that simple.
Right.
Now, how could we benefit from this as marketers in the Web 2.0 future?
The tagging?
Or just all the tools in general, or?
Well, specifically the tagging. How can that help us as marketers?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one example is, depending on the different tagging services, there's different ways that you can use each one, but in general, what you can do is, if you know your keywords, and what we coach our clients to do is initially focus on a top 20 list, because if you can own a top 10 or a top 20 list of a group of narrowly focused keywords, and that's what you're consistently focused on, you can own that niche all over the new media marketplace. So if you have that well mastered, and you know that you're top 10 or top 20, again, we recommend a top 20 to start out with, and in our Blog Interactive 360 program, we walk people through it's called the Killer Keyword Selection Playbook, and that actually helps even the neophyte, whether you have keyword selection experience or not. It's something that's helpful, because if you have keyword selection experience, you're in a new world now with the new media marketplace. So how and where you use the keywords is a little bit different, and we fast track even experienced keyword selection experts. When it comes to a newbie, well, you have no preconception. So if you just walk through the playbook, we've had complete neophytes who didn't even really know what keywords were or how to use them, be able to master that and get top search engine rankings in their niche. But those same keywords that are used in an optimized blog are also used in tagging. So the tags are out there, they're searchable, and with the right strategy, is way too much to go into in a short
Podcast.
Little clip like this, but you employ a specific strategy in each different tagging site, and then those are all gateways. If you think of them as gateways to funnel traffic into your site. So that's, targeted, the short answer to that is highly targeted traffic for free, which I don't know what any marketer doesn't want.
Okay, and just we talked briefly about video. We know the viral videos from YouTube going all over the web, and it's just creating a big stir. Besides, the funny videos that we like to pass on to our friends, how can we maybe capture a little mind share with this as marketers in promoting our business?
Doesn't matter how you did business online last year.
Blog
Interruption marketing is dead.
Interactive.
The blog has become my fastest way to test.
Last year's history.
Blog Interactive 360, presented by RPM Success Group.